Let's take a look at our tail of the tape. You can see Simeon Powell, 24 years of age. He's the younger fighter here. He's also much taller, 6'5", a 10-inch reach advantage on the arms, a full 7 inches on the legs.
All right, so keys to victory. Simeon Powell's got to move laterally and feint the takedown. Why not flip the script on his grappler opponent? 𝗟𝗚𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗏's not here. He's got Daniel Ladero's got to close this fight down and get it to the floor as soon as he can.
The following fight is a light heavyweight semi-final contest. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He is a grappling specialist and stands 6 feet 2 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 205 pounds. His professional record consists of 3 wins and 2 losses. Fighting out of Gran Canaria, Spain, the White Gorilla, Daniel Ladero. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, he is a striking specialist and stands 6 feet 5 inches tall. He weighed in officially at 205.9 pounds and holds a perfect professional record of 8 victories and no defeats. Fighting out of London, England, smooth Simeon Powell. Your referee in charge, 𝗘𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗘.
Simeon Powell in the blue trunks, Daniel Ladero in the gray trunks. Sean O'Connell, Dan Hardy, and joining us, world champion David Haye on the broadcast booth for this fight. Touch of the gloves, and we are underway. 205-pound semifinal. Winner moves on to Dublin in a PFL Europe Championship fight. Leg kick misses there for Ladero.
Ladero is going to be looking for that lead single leg, I think. He's going to try and grab a hold of that as quickly as possible. Try and get Simeon Powell to the floor where he can take away his height and reach advantage. And we did double check his reach, 85 inches. We checked it against Stefan Struves.
David Haye, Simeon Powell right now measuring, right? He just barely threw his first couple of jabs of this fight. What's going through the young man's mind right now?
He's looking at his range. He's making sure he doesn't make any mistakes. He's looking calm, looking composed. You know, he understands that he has the longer reach, so he doesn't need to rush his work. And he's sort of picking his spots, picking his moments, nice little jabs to the body. Yeah, he looks very, very composed, like he's got full understanding of what he has in the locker. You know, he understands a serious fight he's in. His opponent, short notice, so he's looking at taking this guy out very conclusively, but he's not rushing his work, and I like that from him.
There's a left hook lands for Ladero. Simeon Powell on the retreat. He's landed 3 of those sharp calf kicks. And when you watch the nickname Simeon Powell, he doesn't twitch, right?
No.
They call him smooth for a reason, because he moves smooth, slow is smooth, smooth is fast, and so that slow movement ends up being fast.
Now we're seeing some bruising from that 4th calf kick, and Ladero starting to react to it. That could potentially set up a high kick. Ladero's got to be very careful, especially if he starts reaching for that leg, trying to catch it.
He doesn't want to do that. I tell you
Not
that.
with those long limbs, man.
Yeah, 6'5" at 205. That's a big frame, very big frame, and he's got that leverage. You saw the power then resonating. Ladero, he's not enjoying it in there right now.
Saw that laser right hand land as Simeon Powell starts to figure out the distance here. What's the biggest reach deficit you ever gave up in a fight, David Haye?
I don't know what the heavyweight champion when I challenged in 2009, 𝗟𝗨𝗥𝗢𝗣𝗘, he was 7'2". His arms were ridiculously long, and no, I couldn't match him for pace, so I had to come inside. I had to slip inside the range and counter, because his punch, his length was too long. But you know, you have to just adapt one way or another. When you're in there, when the fight's flowing, you figure it out.
And he's dealing with the pressure so well. Like, I can't imagine being this young and 8-0 undefeated and being on a stage like this.
It's amazing. He really is rising to the occasion. he's not overawed. He looks relaxed. He looks calm. He looks like the veteran in there. Only 8 fights, but he's looking very calm. He understands he was the first round. He's taking his time. He's picking his spots, and this is what you expect to see, in a future champion.
Well, one thing that's interesting about Simeon Powell, right? He participated in showcase bouts in previous PFL global seasons and had a ton of success. Very impressive performances, and wants to say, yeah, I'm ready to jump into the global season. But I applaud the way that he is taking this path. He's going the measured route, making sure he develops himself correctly and slowly so that when he does make that leap to the global season, he's truly ready to compete for the $1 Million Championship.
Yeah, anyone can rush into anything in life, but it's really, really important to get the foundation, get those fundamentals locked in when it counts, really understanding what it's all about, because when you are in there against the elite, and if you don't have a foundation, if you don't have that basic, foundation, you're gonna fall apart. And so far he's done. Every move has been meticulous, slowly but surely, building who he is, and slowly but surely he will be winning these fights in the understanding that he is a young man, but he will find ways to finish these fights in a manner that makes him understand that this is what it's all about. That leading knee there, he's very, very composed, and that's what it's all about. It's all about understanding what he's in the ring with right now.
Final 10 seconds of round number 1 here. Ladero making this a fight very much, but Simeon Powell really starting to measure and land.
Powell looks very comfortable, very, very. He just looks very experienced in there. He doesn't look like he's rushing his work, doesn't look like a novice in any way, shape, or form.
He's certainly ahead of the curve when it comes to seeing opponents' attacks and measuring that distance and staying outside. I mean, I fought in this weight class, and so I know what it's like to be the guy who's giving up the reach advantage and the height disadvantage, right? And you've got to work your way inside. You've got to try to attack the body, but he sees that, and he moves backwards so smoothly and fluidly. Ladero's going to have to try and get down onto the legs.
He's going to have
Simeon Powell.
He's going to have to do something significant, because what he's doing currently isn't going to be enough if he keeps on going through these rounds.
I'm surprised that we've not seen a more aggressive attempt to try and get this fight to the floor with him being such a strong grappler. Like, if I'm Ladero, I'm looking at Simeon and thinking, yeah, he's got really long limbs, but I'm also thinking ankle locks and kimuras and arm bars. Ideal for a grappler like Ladero. He's just got to get the fight to the floor if he's going to have any success with it.
But he looks a little shy to close that range, to get into that close range.
Well, that might be a factor of the fact that Simeon has already threatened a couple of knees. He doesn't want to dive himself down onto one of those knees.
That's the hip feint that we keep getting. Simeon shows him that there might be something coming up the center line. Almost like posturing an uppercut when someone keeps dipping their head into the pocket.
Second time Ladero's mouth guard has come out. Powell now goes back down to the low calf.
Starting to swell that lead leg. You can see the redness around the calf. Oh, body lock. Is Simeon going to disengage? Yes, he does.
Simeon Powell in the blue trunks, Daniel Ladero in the gray. Winner moves on to a light heavyweight European Championship, $100,000 at stake in that fight. That'll be December 8th.
He's looking for that right hand again, trying to find a channel through it down the center line.
Now he's got the measurement, but Ladero, erratic movement, is able to kind of throw Simeon Powell off rhythm. A lot of respect being shown from Simeon Powell for the...
Oh, he tried the uppercut, just missed it.
Yeah, look at inadvertent headbutt there, might have landed on the shoulder and maybe jaw of Simeon Powell.
Ladero's had some success with the overhand right on occasion.
Yeah.
But he's very tentative with it. He's not letting it go freely. Powell looking at countering. Balance is nice. Keeping that distance, keeping that long-range distance in his favor.
More attacks to the low calf from Simeon Powell. That's really been his primary weapon so far in this fight. as he tries to avoid that overhand right counter. If he gets too close, that's where Ladero's coming with the strikes.
Oh!
Here's a big flurry from the Spaniard.
I have to say, Ladero does look more confident in his striking. I think he's trying to set up a level change now, though.
There is some hesitation for Powell to really string the combinations together, and that's allowing... The longer you let a big underdog in a fight hang around, the better off that underdog is, right? Building confidence and feeling like something interesting can happen.
Not enjoying that low kick, I know that.
Oh, no. It's going to be uncomfortable on the flight home tomorrow as well, I can tell you that. What would be the first thing you'd be working? If Simeon Powell walked into a boxing gym at this stage, what would be the first thing you'd want to work with him?
Just the feints, just really getting your opponent on edge so he doesn't know when a jab's coming or when a feint's going, just, you know, unsettling your opponent's rhythm and flow. And, you know, like there, he showed a little jab, but I'd like a feint and then a solid jab behind it. You know, just mixing up the feints and the punches so your opponent doesn't know whether he's getting punched or getting feinted, and it just really gets him out of rhythm.
We've seen some good body work today as well, some really good body punching. I think that might be useful, especially if Ladero's wading forward with big punches and Simeon Powell's dropping his head back, might start searching for the body to hit something.
Yeah, that's definitely the idea for the shorter fighter. Getting to the body, hitting the solar plexus, trying to drain the energy, you know, of the taller fighter. It never hurts that game plan. Just putting those, even if it's a solid jab to the solar plexus, each one of those really drains the opponent's gas tank.
How do you think it would change your game to fight in an arena that wasn't a square? Would it change your game trying to trap people in corners? Because you can see there's quite a lot of movement, areas to get out here.
There's a hell of a lot of movement. You know, I've always obviously fought in a ring, a squared ring, and, you know, being able to keep going round and round, that would have definitely changed my game. I like to trap people in the corners.
One punch is a game changer with these big boys. And of course, Ladero's looking for the level change, and Sim's really good with his knees. So it takes away his knee game because he can't commit to them. It's going to square his hips up and make takedowns easier if he doesn't land the knee in the process.
Right hand came from Ladero, who now puts his jab out there. He's been throwing the overhand right almost exclusively as his lead attack, trying to counterpunch Simeon Powell, whose best attack has been the low calf kick. But Ladero, even though there's redness showing and some bruising on that lead leg, he's still moving.
I think Sim's getting stuck because he's expecting the level change at any moment. And the thing is with the overhand right as well, people throw the overhand right to disguise the level change. You drop your hands to start defending takedowns and you leave yourself open for the overhand.
The left has found its home for Ladero on back-to-back punches, one with jab, one a hook that backed up Simeon Powell.
{20 of 23 kicks landed for Simeon Powell.
Simeon's threatening, but he needs to just let his hands go a little bit more. That lead hand, that left jab, he needs to let it go. You know, it's there, it's in range. There he goes, that's it. As soon as he lets his hands go, he has success. He needs to let him go a bit more. I think he's waiting for the perfect opportunity, and sometimes you've got to make that opportunity happen with the punches. Even if the opportunity isn't there, just let your hands go.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's trying to find that crisp opportunity to land a clean right hand.
You got to give credit to Daniel Ladero here. He's standing toe-to-toe with the guy who a lot of people said he had no chance in a stand-up fight with. He's making it interesting, continues to threaten.
Threat on that level change again. It's making Simeon a little bit hesitant.
And look at that, Ladero, anytime Simeon gets into his range, he just rips. Throws heavy hands, throws the heavy right hand, throws the heavy left hook, and it forces Simeon Powell to retreat.
Nice jab there from Powell. Half a round left in this third round. I feel like Ladero is starting to feel like his confidence is on the rise, mainly because maybe there's nothing else to lose. Put your foot on the gas and see what you can land.
That's better. You need to start jabbing to the body, just getting that left hand working, forcing in the openings.
There it is.
Don't wait for it. There you go. As soon as he starts letting his hands go, he starts having success.
This is what you needed to see from Simeon Powell. Starting to land, having a little bit of fun, stunting now and stalking against Ladero.
That's much better work.
Now he's switched on. Now we can hear the rumble around the arena. Starting to see some swelling around the eye of Ladero as well from those peppering jabs. In the last 90 seconds now, a nice level change feint. I think Simeon might burst into a little flow again in a second.
When he switched it on there, he looked super world class.
Right.
He looked like he was fully in control of the whole situation. And he's got that gear in him where he wants to turn it up. He's there. He's world class. He just needs to be able to fully understand when and why he's doing what he's doing. But he looks in full control. He has been in control.
I'm curious why he backed off of it, quite frankly. Because
it looked fantastic. It looked like he was in control. It looked like he was taking full control of Ladero, but he then turned it off. He turned it off.
He landed multiple punches in those combinations there. He finally sees some swelling around the eye of Ladero. You got visual proof that what you're doing is working, and then he takes his foot off the gas pedal. It's something, I guess, that'll come with more experience for Simeon Powell, but...
Exactly, that's it. It's his experience. When he watches this back, he'll understand that how it felt in there and how it actually was is two completely different things.
He's made a real mess of Ladero's nose here with these crisp, straight punches that he's been throwing.
Final bell of this light heavyweight semifinal. The fans, not the biggest supporters of that pace.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds of action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges scored this bout 30-27 for your winner by unanimous decision and clinching their place in the PFL Europe Championship, Simeon Powell.
All right, so Sean O'Connell in the smart cage with Simeon Powell.
All right, Simeon Powell, victorious in this fight. The fans didn't necessarily love the pace. In the immediate aftermath, how do you evaluate your performance?
I did what I had to do. I had a change of opponent last minute. I've been trying things for a certain type of opponent. I got a different type of opponent, but yeah, I just played a bit safe, but yeah, no, I'll be back next time.
You're on to Dublin. Congratulations, Simeon Powell.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Francis Ngannou. Subscribe now.